hear this.
I have an ally
coming out of your
this time around.
You have an ally now as well?
I'll just say it before we look at the draft. And
don't
it's Pugna.
go down the Pugna road.
It's Pugna. I'm hoping for it.
You're almost there. Pudge.
No.
You're almost there. Pugna.
Pugna is an amazing hero.
Legit hero.
No, look, Pudge lost 5 movement speed. Pugna gained 5 movement speed.
Yeah.
That's that. There's no more argument to be had. Pugna is a better hero. That's it. It's movement speed.
If Pugna gained 1 armor, he would be first pick.
If Pudge has boots, he's slower than Pugna. Without boots, I think, actually.
I think
it's 285, right?
It's
Is it the same?
Yeah.
Is GG?
Like,
what can you do?
Okay, so Pugna is the hero then.
Yep.
Sold.
I've been a Pugna fan for a long time, though. I really hope we get to see it.
To be fair, though, like,
it's
me and
cool
Falk are on Dignitas together, and we've been saying Pugna since then, so...
Yeah.
It's been a long time
You guys
coming.
are the Pugna allies now. You're Pugna
even
boys.
before Dignitas, on pot and bottom, we would have way and go, Pugna.
Oh, God. No, you reminded me.
If you guys ever find yourselves both teamless at the same time, you must form a new team around both of you and call it Pugna Boys. Simple as that. Right, let's get into the draft and get away from this silliness. Secret versus VGJ. Opening draft of the group stages here at the Kiev Major. Nothing crazy so far. The Abaddon for Secret, presumably offlane, and the Crystal Maiden for VGJ.
My predictions look good.
Yeah.
Crystal Maiden.
I like Crystal Maiden. She makes your draft super open. You can play fast. You can go aggro. You can go defensive. She makes dual lane, offlane super easy.
Yep.
You can actually do anything with this hero.
And we really saw it rise through DAC. It didn't start off that way, did it? But towards the end, suddenly it was like almost a
I love
pick.
that hero. Her
Mid one is ready.
spells-
He's ready to go. That was like the biggest yawn I've ever seen.
CM's spells are way too good, honestly.
Yeah, they're really good. And the way that people were pairing it, like with, at least in DAC, we saw it with the Monkey King pairing, almost like majority of the times, and then also with the Lina. So you have that like massive burst, you have D-push, you just have, everybody benefits from Arcane Aura.
Your team fight is way too good with Monkey King CM. You have 2 supports, and sometimes they can 2v5 the enemy team. It's just ridiculous.
What's interesting about the opening bans as well is VGJ have given a bit of respect to Kezu.
The Enigma ban? I think Team Secret are one of the best teams in the world at playing around the hero. It's not just individually that... Kezu is a great Enigma player for sure, but it's just the play style of the team, this hard 5-man group up and team fight style that they
he doesn't even like use the black hole too often either. In the games that they play, he's just this walking mech pipe carrier,
much
just
to
like running at them.
annoyance, it has to be said. Much to Ben's annoyance.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, the Bounty Hunter.
Yeah.
They were doing this during Kiev qualifiers, and I mean it's Puppy and Pie.
Yep.
This is one of their favorites.
This is as an opening, this is a bit unusual that you start with 2 heroes that have 0 stuns or silences. Like this is a very limited draft opening because Secret are kind of putting themselves in a position now where their follow-up heroes need to have some sort of catch or lockdown to enable the other 2. Whereas I think VGJ's opening is just way more open-ended to me, which generally doesn't happen. The second pick team, which Team Secret is in this case, you generally go for a little bit more of an open-ended start because you don't know what you're going to get counterpicked with in the first pick.
I think this actually tells us that Team Secret has a strategy planned.
Yeah.
What they're going to do is they're going to take 4 heroes that work very well together, that are pre-planned, and they're going to try to counterpick with their mid, because they have the last pick.
They did use a lot of time on picking this bounty, though. It took them 1 minute of extra time already, so didn't seem fully convinced, I guess.
I'm not sure. Usually what
they
happens...
shouldn't be surprised by first pick CM, I guess.
No, they shouldn't. What usually happens is like, at second pick, you have like, you sort of know what the other team's going to first pick, usually. And you list out like, 4 to 6 heroes that you think you're going to want to first to. And usually those things will cover things in your draft that you're going to want. So in this game, apparently they want some lane pressure and some movement on the map. The Omni is sort of interesting because teams are actually first banning this hero against VGJ in China. So this is a hero that's not really seen in the West. I mean, the West doesn't have many games, but that hero is very scary.
I think it's also, maybe in this game it's difficult to run that way, but it's always nice to have picks early on in the draft that can fulfill multiple roles. Omni Knight can be played as a support. We mostly see it offlane nowadays, but I think in some cases you can... it doesn't really need much apart from levels in a support role, so it can be even played as a hard 5, I would say, in some cases. I think for VGJ now it wasn't that difficult of a pick. I think the hero in general is great against melee heroes because it makes it easier to use Purification with high impact in the fights, and Team Secret's opening is kind of playing, in my opinion, straight into the hand that VGJ want with their Omni Knight, namely that the opposing team, the 5-man of Secret already doesn't look that good. Yeah. Both Abaddon and Bounty Hunter aren't necessarily the best.
Dominate's pick's also nice because there aren't that many heroes who can straight up 1v1 an Abaddon and crush him, but Omnite's definitely one of them.
Yeah.
Good matchup, for sure.
You can also, I mean, you can purge a track, which is always nice.
Yeah.
And if you cannot teamfight into them with a Bounty Hunter, it becomes a lot harder to get that track code going.
I think it's Bounty Hunter. Generally, his biggest weakness as a hero is if the rest of your lineup cannot execute teamfights, the hero just falls off. So extremely hard past minute 10. So again, that's what I really think Secret needs to solve here, is that it's very clear that VGJ at some point will be coming at them with a 5-man with this Omni Knight and will start pushing towers. And if Secret can't respond or split push fast enough, they'll just lose their base and not be able to fight back at all.
And usually it's Kezu playing their big team fighter, and they already picked the Abaddon for him.
Yeah. Maybe it's a carry Abaddon.
Could be.
Do you think that's viable?
Carry Abaddon?
I like carry Abaddon.
I've seen it run a few times.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty good this patch, actually.
I think you generally only pick carry Abaddon when you sort of like debate them with the offlane Abaddon. They pick some things good against it, and then they're going to go aggro, put a 1v1, and you're like, nope, this is my real offlane. That's when it really shines.
So they do go for the Wisp as well. So they're getting this is comfort for Secret, full comfort.
Yeah. I think the idea now for Secret is to get a... Yeah, okay. I was actually even thinking Ember for Secret now, because you want mid 1 to have a hero that can play super aggressive and take a lot of advantage from having both the tether and the aphotic shield and just go in and kill stuff.
This is...
I think Secret have to win lanes right now.
Yeah, they have no team fight.
Their team fight is...
It's like nothing.
You cannot run into the CM Omni-Knight.
There's no team fight. They don't have real catch for Ember now either. So this Ember pick, he's going to be able to have like free split push if he gets to that point. This is actually like they played this exact opening Vici J the other day from DPL, and you know what other hero they had inside this lineup? Pugna.
Was it Pugna?
It was Pugna.
That's hype.
But they did pick like I think there was the Juggernaut or the Terrorblade. It was the Juggernaut. They picked 4th pick previously, so Secret actually bans on out. So at least removing a little bit of their pushing potential from that. And they go for mid 1's Shadow Fiend.
I like this choice.
It's good.
I think when you say Ember Spirit, you have to say, I can destroy this guy in lane.
Yeah.
With Shadow Fiend, easily one of the strongest lanes. Ember, the weakness of Ember really is that it's not that he's so bad 1v1, he's not great, but it's the fact that if you try to dual lane with your Ember, he's awful. He has 1 armor, he doesn't add anything, he has maybe a 1-second chain that maybe hits, shield gets purged instantly, whereas you have a dual lane with a Shadow Fiend, they're going to right-click you.
It's the way it looked for Secret after those first 3 picks. There were really, in a way, only 2 options left. Like either they have extreme dominance early on, or they play hardcore split push. I don't think team fighting was an option anymore. But if you have a hero like Shadow Fiend that can snowball really hard, and you back him up with both the IO and the Abaddon, he can actually get to a point where this fighting is possible for Secret. And what they want to do is they want to be the ones that play the faster game. So they come online at maybe minute 15, and sure, you don't have any disables, but you put so much pressure that the enemy team has to fight into you, and then you don't need to catch them.
That sounds like a solid game plan with this SF.
Yeah.
Mid 1, I actually really like his SF. He did this build. I call it the mid 1 build, but he just went Treads Aquila, Dragonlance, straight Butterfly. And I've never seen a Shadow Fiend look that scary before. I looked at him like, this is the build. And honestly, he's geared towards that. He has 3 heroes that buff him right now.
Yep.
They're pretty all in on the Shadow Fiend, which isn't a bad thing this game either.
Hard for them to really get like onto him, just like, take him out.
If he gets to Butterfly BKB, they have no damage for him too. So
they need a physical core.
Yeah, Vici needs to look for some outspam or something that can sort of lock down the Shadow Fiend, contest him in the mid game, because that's what Secret's draft is, right?
This pick really caught them off guard. They've used a good minute and a half now, I think, on figuring out what they want to do. The Ember pick was instant, and this was not what they were expecting.
I think the thing is the Ember pick was more of a block pick.
I mean,
he's a good pick with their lineup, but they saw those 3 heroes in Secret, like, they cannot get Ember.
Yeah.
Ember's too perfect for him. But honestly, I like Shadow Fiend more. Luna.
Physical damage core, push actual tower, like a objective taker.
An aggressive Luna.
It's I think Luna in this game is really nice simply because Secret don't have any significant burst. They can't really kill her very quickly. The only high damage ability they have right now is Requiem, unless you had like a 3-raise combo, but that's not very likely. And she even has Repel backing her up. It's a hero that, given a good lane in the start, can come online fairly early and fight, and that is what it's going to come down to. It's, can you just run in and man-fight Secret and bring down their heroes through all of this defensive heal and sustain that they have? And Luna has a lot of spread damage, so could work. I think it's a pretty good choice.
The other thing that Luna lets them do is go aggro this game. You see the 2 supports in Secret,
that for sure.
pretty low damage.
That's true.
Go aggro with this aura, the CM bite. You have a very high damage aggro, honestly. And you already have the good matchup in your offlane.
Yep, I like that. It's a good way of alleviating pressure from your Ember mid as well. If it's an IO Shadowfiend mid and you can pressure the enemy safe lane so hard and take their tower at around the maybe even the 6-minute mark if you're facing this kind of a lineup from Secret. Secret will have to either rotate down there and leave their mid lane a bit more open, or they just lose their tower, and then Luna will just rotate to her own safe lane and take the tower there, and they'll get the ball rolling maybe even before Shadowfiend can.
Secret has a last pick, but I expect them to pick something that's I like to call them dead laners, heroes that cannot be messed around with in your safe lane. If they pick a dead laner, then they can move their supports to mid. It's very hard to move to mid if your safe lane's just getting hit and pressured, and he feels bad, and MP are like, help, and we can't. So
Chaos.
Whoa.
Wisp CK.
ooh.
Okay, I don't know how much I like the CK pick here.
It's a very interesting draft.
It's
I'm going to
maybe
give
the
you the
lane's good
opportunity. We don't normally do this. Normally at Majors, we make you do the predictions before the draft, but we'll do it per game, and we'll do it after the draft. So we're going to start with Synderen.
I like VGJ.
You like VGJ?
Yeah.
Okay. Why?
I think their lineup is more well-rounded and
More meta?
not necessarily more meta as such. It's just when I see these two lineups, if you think of ease of execution, I think Secret's lineup is harder to play and needs a specific subset of things to happen. If they execute it perfectly, they will look amazing. If they have just a couple of hiccups, I think they're going to be run over in the mid game. So starting out with a lot of confidence, I guess. That's not an easy lineup to play.
VGJ for Synderen, Ari?
I'd take VTJ as well. I think Secret's lineup sort of needs to play fast, but it's really hard to play quickly against a CM when they have this aura giving you extra spells. They have better lane push. I mean, the Wisp sort of mitigates that, but I like VTJ's draft more so.
Vogt?
I also like
It's
VGs,
3 out of
to
3.
be honest. So yeah,
Yeah.
I think that Secrets is very lane prominent. They need to do really well on the lanes, and I think the Luna pick was really good to at least like Curtis made the point of attempting maybe if they go for an aggro thing, just having that type of strong lane and putting the pressure.
Okay, all right, thank you very much. All 3 of our panel members have made their predictions. I'm sure you've made your predictions on social media as well. They've all gone for VGJ here. Let's head into opening game of the Kiev Major with the commentary team. Toby 1, it's all yours.
An insanely China-biased panel, Ben. No one believes in Secret. No one believes in the highest MMR player in the game today.
No one's even seen Secret, really.
No.
Hold on, my predictions are here.
Really?
Hold
Is that
on.
actually what you have to stop and do? No.
I always do those.
You do.
Gotta get those battle
You did
points,
this at TI. You actually did that during the main stage of TI.
People care, Toby.
People care?
People
to
care.
help people inside the game, you have your little predictions to go. Do we want to do that? No,
Am I with Secret or VCJ here? I'm not actually sure. It's a toss-up. I'm not sure how good they are with the Omni Knight. It's a hero that I did not expect to see first phase in our first game.
Well, Fog was talking about the fact that they actually ran a very similar draft, and then the Juggernaut got banned out in the second phase, which was part of it. It was the Juggernaut and the Pugna, and they go a different avenue. They go in with this VS plus the Luna instead. So it will be interesting to see how it all comes together for VGJ. But the panel was going with them, and you do ask the question, like, how's CK meant to work with the lineup? Like, the lanes look good, but going into the mid game, isn't Luna and the Ember Spirit going to have a lot better time against the CK?
Yes, but the Ember Spirit needs farm, and that's where the Wisp plus SF comes in. And Luna, it's gonna be tough for the CK to do stuff. Wisp makes a lot of things possible. Hold on, I have 13 seconds. Player with the most kills? Oh. Okay. What are you doing, Toby? Why are you so quiet? Are you doing yours too after criticizing me?
Hey, you're the one that was
Wow.
meant to be saying something really intelligent just then. Obviously not. Yeah, I also did mine as well.
Thank you.
We'll see if I fail.
I had VTJ, Puppy, Freeze, and Puppy.
VGJ mid 1, ROTK, and Puppy.
Okay.
I rushed my middle too, I'm not going to lie. But congratulations if anyone
they're
else
switching
kind
up
of follows.
lanes over here. So Fenrir and Aggressive decided that they don't want any of that bottom lane because they know that it's an ABBA. So we see a lot of dodging going on.
But the rotation's been watched, and Puppy's already waiting for the courier too. Thanks to the observables they've got, they're going to see that exact path of the courier, but the pings just came out too. Puppy cut a tree in vision. So they know what's going on. And that courier's gone the very long way home.
Ooh, yeah, the very, very long way.
Yeah, it's the safety. You know the bounty hunter is on the prowl. Puppy, There's a reason why he picked up this hero within the first 2. He loves his bounty hunter, and he is renowned for it too. So Freeze, he has to deal with the early pressure, but so now you're running this top lane, this IO plus CK. Actually, they're TPing up as well. Okay, so FY and Fenrir are running here, aggressive. Takes the initial stun on the top. Now it's actually MP. They turn it around onto him. On the run through the tree lanes, a fairy fire consumed by Paladai, giving him the extra life. And this will actually allow him to survive. So no kill on the top lane, and it is a very difficult lane to murder.
CK is just really, really tanky. 4 armor, and he has the Wisp back him up, and a Stout Shield, and a Strength Hero. They actually don't need the Wisp mid, though, which is really, really good for mid 1.
RTK. This takes so much after he has already his Purification. With a degen aura, it's a little bit more difficult for KZoo and MP just to track him down. But he'll already have to move back and trigger the Shrine 2 minutes in.
I thought he was going to go for the kill.
It looked like they had enough damage for it, but nope. So lane rotation, KZoo's going to TP himself up towards top lane. Try and get that matchup that they want again.
They really want the CK to be fed, though, which I think is the right call.
Mid 1. That's troublesome. In behind the tower, Freeze diving in deep. The Flame Gun's enough of a burn to get the kill. Freeze will end up going down. Paladai was in the neighborhood, so able to just leech a little bit.
And he spent all his unreliable gold. Nice efficiency there. Bought his boost and his TP scroll right before.
Doesn't miss out much. In fact, he doesn't miss a single last hit in the mid lane.
Probably still hunting for that courier, but with him dying, he actually does not need to send the courier mid, so that's an extra benefit of him dying. Puppy's just trying to steal bounties, and they know where he is right now, and he is still level 1. Poor guy. Yeah, so I think there's 2 varying philosophies for the CK. Like, you can either keep both carries like underfarmed in like perhaps a try-on-try situation where you're not really going to get that much, but I think Luna's much better without items because you have Eclipse and you have Lunar Blessing, both of which are not really that item dependent, whereas CK, if you're weak, you're just going to get cleaved down by the Glaives. Like, even one Purification can just kill all of your images. So I think you really need to armor it up on the Chaos Knight or whatever strength items ASAP. And eventually a Diffusal Blade is really good at killing the Ember Spirit and just locking down the Luna. Purging off Guardian Angel is also going to be incredibly important for them because they don't actually have that much magic damage.
You're still talking about like a lot of money coming out there.
Yeah,
so what happens when Vici J just group up? When RTK has the farm he wants on that Omni Knight?
Well, that's the thing about Wisp too. You can split push very, very effectively, and I think they are going to need to do that. Because
more trouble on mid lane for mid 1. All that MML doesn't count for much when Freeze just able to Searing Chains you and lock you in. Now that's going to be his bottle sub 4 minutes. His CS hasn't been terrific. Like, it's 22-11 against a 13-1, so Freeze has not been coming out on top as far as that CS goes in the mid. But with the kills going his way, he sits higher up on the net worth.
And Paladai hasn't actually been able to move too much from the lanes. He didn't start off with the Iron Talon like we do see him so commonly because they wanted to pressure the lanes a little bit. But as a side result, Bounty Hunter not doing anything and Paladai not being in the mid lane, SF's just been all alone. And we expected this matchup to be not that great for Freeze, but first blood, not as much CS, but second kill too.
Is there a way to stem the bleeding? Like, do you switch the lanes up and put more like the IOCK in mid and let the SF go to bottom lane?
I think you just stack for him.
That's
Wisp
it.
is really
You just
good
play
at
the catch-up game with him?
That's generally what you do with SF. You just stack, get him a few camps with level 3 or level 4 raid, and then just move up with
Freeze, careful. Oh, wow, really careful, mid 1.
Okay, that's how you catch back up.
Level 2 raise, and what attack, and the Ember Spirit caught napping in the mid.
That was so greedy. Like, maybe he was waiting for his bottle on chicken, but even that's not super safe because there's a bounty hunter in the game. He's not that close to level 6.
Speaking of the bounty hunter, you're going to go to bottom lane where RTK is being initiated on Puppy with the slow. Orb of Venom plus Janata. They need extra slowdown RTK, but they just don't have it, but they do force the TP out from FY.
Oh, Omni Knight's actually going for the phase boost build too. Omni Knight wants to get in there. They just want to be able to bum rush their heroes. They know that they don't really have a good way to deal with the GA early in the game.
That's actually what he did last time he built this. He went phase Midas and then with the pipe Shivas.
That's one of the benefits of having the CM too. You don't need to go for the arcanes. Like, he's very mana intensive as an Omni Knight, and you want to have that sustain so you can farm up camps and just sustain a push. But with CM on your team, it's just so much easier to get away with heroes that aren't commonly picked.
So right now up on this top lane, are you actually happy with this? With Abaddon, KZU's able to get in a lot closer, get a lot more farm?
You say a lot more farm. He has 12 CS.
He's getting there compared to what he had before.
Yeah,
he's got one third of that in just the last minute.
He's been forced to TP a lot and just run around. He's very low on their priority list of farm.
That Radiant Observer is still able to scat out a lot, including FY's rotation up to the top lane. Freeze going in deep under the tier 1 tower. TP support's coming in. This is a level 6 Ember Spirit. But then again, does he actually have enough to get out of here? Blocked by the Spirit, taking way too much damage from the tower. So if the Spirit jump up, will get him back into the river, and Puppey unable to close the distance.
Freeze will not be blessed with the rune.
Oh, top lane, KZU. The ulti, the Eclipse, the creep wave. It tanked up all. I think it tanked up every single beam. Aggressive, just can't find the luck against the Abaddon.
Yeah, he would have needed 2 hits. He's only level 6, so level 3 beam wasn't going to be enough.
MP bottom lane, Frostbite's there. It was an Omni Knight, just invis jumping through the rear, takes the damage from the Purification, and it will be enough with the Degen Aura for him to die. Can't make it to the stack to deny himself. At the same time, Puppey ends up getting picked off next to the Bounty Rune inside the Dire Jungle.
Bounty Hunter is level 2.5. That is so sad. Looking at his experience right now, he doesn't even have TP off cooldown, so he has a. That's the walk of shame.
He's gonna have to leech. He'll have to actually leech when the SF does his flash farming.
That's definitely what he needs to do, because there's just not really many avenues for him to get back. They don't have enough disables to kill the Ember. Luna's pretty well fortified in her safe lane, and an Omni Knight's a very difficult kill, especially when the supports are constantly sitting behind them with sentry wards to protect. So they always have to live in fear. Are the supports sitting behind RTK? Probably, but they don't know for sure most of the time.
Puppey's trying to just inch his way up, but yeah, he's not certain where that sentry ward is.
Yeah.
Like, we can see it, whereas a little bit further down the lane, so Puppey can go up that way. So he puts down an Observe ward just to get his own vision.
And ROTK doesn't even need to skill up Repel. He's in a good spot. Ember Spirit, despite his early death.
This feels like bait. RTK inches forward with a creep wave around him. Wants MP to actually rift him. And in fact, that's actually what they're going to do. Stun and rift. Fenrir is there to help out. Now they can try and turn this with a Purification plus Frostbite. MP takes a lot of damage. Puppey moves in as well, but they don't have enough for the kill, but is setting up for the rotation. FY and Freeze, they're already down the bottom lane. They'll see Puppey moving over towards the left, but they're focusing on the big one. They're focusing on MP, so the Magic Missile stun, 2 Spirit committal. Chaos Knight will drop, and Pylai quickly TPs himself away to safety and away from the gank of VG. And this will now probably be the tier 1 tower on bottom.
VGJ just need to group up because Secret's so weak right now. Bounty Hunter offers nothing. CK has no items, and SF struggled a little bit in the mid lane, but he's going to get some good space to farm right now. And ROTK is going very greedy. 3 in Degen. Screw Repel, screw GA. That's a super offensive build.
Just like ask him to come at him. RTK is going to TP towards the mid just to stop mid 1 from pressuring that too much. They've already got the bottom tower in the bag, unless Puppey wants to attempt a denial.
No way.
But that would be very, very dangerous.
His life isn't worth that much, but it's not worth that little right now. He's not like a melee creep status yet.
So you take the tier 1 tower. Team Secret trying to get something in return, and Aggressive is probably the best target they had. VGJ showed a lot of players on bottom lane, so they're cutting through. They're trying to find Aggressive in that small little nook to the south of the tier 1 tower, and they know it.
He's very tanky, though. Luna, level 8, usually don't think of him as that tanky, but with Stick and Strength Threads and Raindrop, he is not easy to kill.
He drags the creep wave up, and now, in fact, Team Secret have to take more damage, and they're going to be concerned too. VGJ should have TPs available. So you don't want to get way too aggressive, and in fact, now, with Omni Knight up in the top lane, RTK arrives, there is no fight to be had here.
How does CK jump into this lineup? Like, he has to be deathly afraid of reality rifting. And even his ulti isn't going to stay alive. KheZu walks into aggressive.
FY's going to run out of here. It was underneath the sentry ward. But yep, RTK, he's just going to keep going at him. Doesn't matter if KheZu wants to run into this. He's still holding that extra point, so if he wants his borrowed time, he can get it.
Yeah, I haven't actually seen too many people hold that skill point.
Oh, Keizu, that burst damage. There goes the ulti. But they just waited out. Pylai jumps in. Now the Eclipse aggressive. Explodes the IO. Keizu still dying in the tree lines. If he can just stay in range. RTK, the damage isn't enough from mid one. He got stunned up by the Lucifer Beam and could have finished the job. Keizu on 55 HP moves down to the tree lines and RTK gets caught out. Mid one will find the kill. Meanwhile, down on bottom lane, the stun was holding Freeze away from MP. And now they're the ones on the retreat. Pilot comes over at MP. Reality Rift plus Chaos Bolt is available. But they hesitated with the initiation onto the Ember Spirits. They just let him go.
Not sure if RTK thought he could get away with that with the build that he had. Normally in that position, you can like repel GA TP, and there's no way for them to stop him. But he doesn't have the luxury of that to him yet. Veil on Ember, pretty common, but he definitely needs the armor. You're going to be taking a lot of physical from CK, especially with the Reality Rift and Presence of the Dark Lord, so they need Aquila, Vlad's, Medallion, everything.
Well, this game could go for a while then. Mid one's going to take out that top tower, top net worth by far, but the relocate Pilot Eyes come in with MP. They want RTK, but while the repel's up, they can't do much. It'll come down. Purification, Fenrir gets the slow and aggressive. He wants something, but Pilot Eye in 2 seconds' time will take MP back to safety. So as Keizu as well as mid one on the run, but look who's coming up again. Fenrir, FY as well as Freeze. In through the South Spirit, jump forward. He'll be out of Searing Chains over on both. Nope, mid one, Frostbitten up. Still got the ulti off and Freeze taking too much damage. They need to kill up mid one with a Sleight of Fist. He'll actually die to the end ultimate, giving mid one a double kill, but Keizu stands his ground.
Wow, he was holding his chains for whatever reason. Vici J, they all expected him to cancel the Requiem cast with the chains, and they probably could have killed him before the cast, but he let it go off, and then he took a 1.5 Requiem to the face and just got slaughtered. He didn't need a pop stick. Maybe he didn't have enough mana at that exact moment or something. It might be one of those moments where you're like, oh, I have enough mana, and then you press it, and you're like, oh, wait, no, out of mana, and then you have to stick, and then you have to press it again, but at that time it might have been too late. So, yeah, that was, it's quite the blunder for them. That's rough.
Yeah, not the 5 Vici J were wanting, and this is now leveling it up. 7-7 on the board. Team Secret with these couple of engagements actually start getting an advantage in the net worth. They've actually switched around by almost 5,000 at this point. Same with the experience. They're leading for the first time.
Yeah, and mid one's definitely going to be the king of this game for some time to come. He's very ahead in net worth, and he's going for the BKB rush. I think the BKB is really good here because their team fight is just horrendous compared to VGJ right now.
Pilot is dying to RTK. He has to tether TP out for RTK can do enough damage to solo kill him. With the phase boost, there's no way for I to outrun him.
Yeah, Aura's VGJ trying to double down on their team fight presence, but they don't really have a good way to deal with the BKB Shadow Fiend at all. And compound that with the Wisp being able to maybe even prevent him from having to pop his BKB really early on in the fight. It's not looking as good for VGJ as it once was. Their team fight was going to be really, really strong, but SF, he can just right-click people down as we've seen in the fights.
Maybe that's the reason, too, why we see RTK changing up his Omni Knight build, going in for the earlier drums. You're going to get the Blink Dagger plus Veil control coming in from the Ember.
Normally, at this point, they would have grouped up and pushed down T1s. They grouped up, pushed T1 bottom with a smoke, and now they aren't even really close to approaching the T1s at all. And you don't want to split up versus a Bounty Hunter, and especially a Bounty Hunter with a Wisp. So anyone that's just off alone is just going to get relocated on
like this. Top lane, FY. The 3-second stun is overkill. FY will die.
And they're lucky that there's not a Bounty Hunter there, or they would have just given up like 200 more gold at that point. So now they realize, okay, we need to
Instead, Puppey is actually sniping couriers if he can almost get enough damage in. That had the Drums of Endurance on it. That actually has RTK's item. And Spirit now having to jump himself away from mid one and Keizu.
They're trying to group up mid, but they don't have a T1 tower there. They want to push here, but
they got Aggressive's ulti.
It's not really happening.
Like they got a solo SF with Eclipse available, and they just don't want to do it.
Mid one's just really good at imposing his presence, though. Like, he could be farming neutrals, he could be farming ancients, but he's preventing this push by just standing super far ahead. He's also been able to allow Secret to get these really nice observer wards on the map. Look at that trifecta of wards. It's covering with the majority of the map that Vici J want to go to. Every time they want to group up for a push, they're probably going to have to use a smoke. And if they split up, boom, relocate, someone else is dead. So Vici J's options are really limited right now. It was supposed to be good for them. They were supposed to continue to take them T1s and group up, but it's actually Secret that are just playing really well around the SF.
It looked like they were, like, for the last 30 seconds, Vici J be moving around that sentry ward like they want to smoke. But they can't even do that. Like, they picked one up, and now I think they're realizing with the tier 2 tower being dropped on the top lane by Team Secret, they have to go for a straight trade-off.
It's because they're not confident they're going to win a team fight right now.
Well, here comes the SF, so they may have no choice. Fortifications up. If they want this tower, they have to take the team fight.
Yeah, they could easily get relocated from behind, and their supports would get slaughtered, and there's just no chance. GA still not up for Omni Knight, so maybe with that they could take one.
Oh, Puppey just hit the perfect sentry ward. He just got both of the obs wards. VGJ kind of messed up a little bit. They put 2 obs wards almost on top of each other, and Puppey's 1 sentry ward was able to claim both of them.
And that will be an easy Roshan.
This'll come in handy.
Yeah, Team Secret will get that one. Puppey may even have a little bit more to say against RTK. They're not going to rotate out for him straight away.
Okay, SF is just...
He's a beast.
Yeah, he's really difficult to deal with right now.
Full BKB, Dragon Lance is up, another 1,000 gold is sitting in the bank account.
I didn't expect him to have this good of a game, though, when the Wisp wasn't there with him. But those couple of mid-game plays really propelled him to the position where he can just dominate everyone.
You do also ask the question, like, how much did that fight up on top lane hurt them? Like, it wasn't just the fact that SF was able to pick up the 2 kills. Obviously, that's a big part of it. But then the space for Chaos Knight. Armlet is up. MP working his way towards having the BKB. Space was created with that one failed fight. The VGJ just couldn't, like, win and then add more pressure. Restrict the movement of Team Secret. Now with Veil, they try and burn him down. Mid one's here. Puppey. Oh, Spirit jump back. He's going to be able to do it and a long way away. Causing rotations from Team Secret. Freeze just trying to distract them more than anything else.
They actually don't have enough armor on Dire side. The only armor item they have is Veil right now. They don't even have an Aquila. I thought they were going to build Aquila and then maybe a medallion on the Vengeful Spirit, but they have an urn on the Ven, but they haven't gotten a kill in ages. They got, like, what, 1 kill in the last 10 minutes or so?
Yep.
So, like, this physical damage is quite staggering. You need your heroes to be tanky so you can play around it with Omni Knight. You know, you want to Purification first. When people get low, then you throw out your Repel GA combo, and then your second round of Purification will
Do you want this aggressive? He's brought the tower within deny range now, so he does take it. KZoo going to rotate in, but here comes the Eclipse with the relocate. It's difficult to get away. The Guardian Angel taking up so much of this damage, so they will survive to kill off Pylai Die. RTK, not enough life to actually give back to aggressive, or is it? It will be enough with the Frostbite creating space. There's a 4-second stun on the Crystal Maiden, and she's dying to Phantasm. Fenrir can stick up quickly. Nova, he's got a Frostbite available too, and they'll trigger the Shrine. So Fenrir will survive. Io will fall. They claim the Tier 1 tower. So a good engagement for VGJ overall.
He didn't get the armlet toggle on the Illusions. Like, the Illusions don't have the armlet buff on them. I think they might have been able to kill the Crystal Maiden just with the armlet buff on the Illusions alone without his hero committing. But it was pretty nice kiting by VGJ. They didn't end up with a Luna death, which I think would have been incredibly painful for them at this point in time. But finally, they get that tower.
Yep. And with the death of the tower, the fact that Luna survives, the painfulness you're talking about is the fact that Luna could have been delayed on her Manta style. That's the dodge she's looking for to stop the Chaos Knight from being the big controller.
Yep. And looks like mid one is actually building into a Bloodthorn next. So BKB Bloodthorn. I don't know if he's actually going to commit for it, but maybe he thinks, okay, they're actually not focusing me down at all in any of these fights, so he can get away with it, especially with his BKB. 1 offensive item, 1 defensive item. It's really good versus the Ember Spirit, too.
Bottom lane, goodbye Vengeful Spirit.
Yeah.
Easy and successful smoke. Meanwhile, Freeze is being pushed out of the top lane. He just wanted to farm it up a little bit. Man, Casey does so much damage with that Abaddon. Freeze is forced to TP himself away to safety. RTK is in the neighborhood.
One thing I will say about Kezu, he really does play for the team.
Relocate. The coming up after Fenrir is just not a fun day to be a VGJ support.
More deaths. More track gold.
Puppy's just setting up for it so easily. The IO and the bounty together. A very scary global combination with these tests continuously happening for VGJ. They just can't come out, so Team Secret, they're happy for it. Raise down the wave, forcing the tier 2 tower. And VGJ are in no position to fight yet. They still need to get the Blink Dagger over on Freeze. He stopped after getting the Veil to pick up the BTs.
I'm trying to think about how VGJ get back into this. Their lineup was built around 5-manning, but their window has been like this for quite
Nice
some
sleight
time.
of fist, perfect Searing Chains MP. He could actually get the combination over on Freeze, but Freeze needs to get out of here. His BTs are off cooldown, and there's the Spirit Jump, but he's right on top of mid one. Another Spirit Jump back to where his tier 2 tower used to be. But this has been good delay from VGJ. That Aegis Immortal is going to time out in about 30 seconds time. So they've managed to avoid the fight during the Aegis timing.
It's not good though if you're needing to avoid fights, and eventually they are going to have to fight. And I think the team fight items are coming out of plenty.
I'm still looking at RTK to have his big team fight items. You could see just how effective that Guardian Angel was in the mid lane before.
Well,
now he's running his Hand of Midas. He's trying to catch back up again. With the plus 60 gold per minute, it's all about the holler for RTK.
There's no good team fight items that he can really get though. Like, he doesn't have Arcane, so he can't go for Greaves. I guess he could get a mech, but it would be like super late. And
well, the last time he did it, he got Pipe and Shivas.
Pipe is not very good versus the lineup. Shivas is decent, I suppose, but I don't know if you want to get that as your third item. It is pretty good versus the CK, but I don't think he really wants to be the one running in there. Like his earlier skill build and item build suggests that he did, but when it comes later into the game, when Shadow Fiend hits really hard, I don't think he can tank it even with the armor build. And the Orchid is completed up on Shadow Fiend, so now they have... He doesn't have a mobility item, but he still can catch the Omni Knight if he's out of position, prevent defensive swaps if he finds the
Don't think you want to do this, FY. Oh, that's what he wants to do. He stuns to take the range creep and then TP's out.
They're stalling for Luna to get really big.
Yeah. But, man, I'm looking at Keizu, and Keizu could probably tank most of this in the future. Like Aghanim's Vlad Solar Crest.
Yeah, he definitely can.
They already can't kill him.
He's really good versus Luna, and he has the right items to just run in there and not care. Unlike ROTK, who has a more solo-oriented build.
And he's always going to have friends. Relocate in with the CK. Keizu is never alone. That's why this two-man push onto the bottom tower is just so effective. VGJ knows they cannot fight this.
They can attempt to sneak a Roach, I think. If they build a medallion on one of their heroes with the VS aura, I think if they can catch Seeker split pushing, they can trade a Roach for it. But first step is to take these towers down, and I don't think this
Here
one's
comes the
gonna die.
TPs. Mid one's to the front lines. FY is already forced to run away.
They see mid one, they just leave. They're like, no.
I think was that RTK TPing down? I think it was. And he actually ends up cancelling it. He was headed down to the bottom shrine. And so they just leave the space for aggressive. More levels up for him. Still approaching the BKB. And until he's got that, it doesn't look like he wants to have any engagement at all. And the Ember Spirit's just moved off having the Blink Dagger. It's all about the Lincoln Sphere. Full protection for him now. Perfect Observe Ward watching aggressive farming up top lane. However, that silence being released over on Freeze. RTK will break him free. Mid one, they're focusing on the Io. They need him to go down in order then to kill off that BKB'd up Shadow Fiend. They're able to achieve it. But they lose the Luna in return. And that was Team Secret actually being forced into two different engagements. They used the Observe Ward watching the Dire Ancients. Or near the Ancients to farm, to try and get the kill.
Yeah, that was actually a difficult play by Seeker. They saw the free Luna kill, but if they go for the Luna kill, they actually can't win the fight on top. At least they didn't lose the mid one. I do like how he wasn't very greedy with his right click. Like, he didn't see any heroes in sight, but he knows that he just needs to not die in that fight. Is pretty much what needs to happen for him right there.
Oh, Poppy. He's got a Yule Scepter, cancels the TP out, the Orchid's down, and there's no Spirit to jump out to. Mid one with a raise.
Ends up killing all Freeze. All Freeze want to do is add a little bit of pressure to the top lane. And now they're going to be scared. Roshan potentially can spawn up, and this will be in their minds. But they'll have to wait a little bit longer. Just over a minute before Roshan is alive.
You know it's an issue when Shadow Fiend has done more magic damage than the Ember Spirit. It's actually something that really doesn't happen very often at all. Especially when he goes for a Veil build super early. And yeah, Ember Spirit is just not going to be very useful. He doesn't have any AoE to deal with the CK illusions too. CK's getting pretty fat right now. He's going to have Heart pretty soon, whereas you're just going to have a Linken's on your Ember Spirit, which is just like no damage, no Maelstrom, no Battle Fury, and his magic damage is
the relocate. There goes your Crystal Maiden. Fenrir in trouble again, Puppey being the man to set up for it. Keizu being in the neighborhood. And F1 Aggressive can't really do much to stop this. There's sentry warding everywhere on the southern part of the map, but it won't matter when Team Secret break your base. They're going into the high ground. There's your swap back out again, trying to save the Omni Knight. He did get silenced up, and thanks to this, maybe now there's some rebuttal. MP just being a Photic shielded up. They can't even stun and control. So Team Secret do heavy damage to the tier 3 tower. They can back up, however. The line's being drawn. Roshan did just respawn.
Yeah, they can easily take a
Oh,
fight
wow,
right
that's
now.
TP? No.
Their ulti's back up on MP. So, oh, and an Arcane Rune. I wonder who they're going to give that to. I guess maybe CK for 2 ultis? I think having the second ulti is going to be really nice for pushing high ground.
They give it to the Abaddon?
Yeah, I guess Abba's okay too. It depends on what they want to do. I think Abba's is way better for the team fight, and CK's is way better for actually sieging the base.
Notice how Vici J are doing nothing to try and contest this. Fenrir is trying to leech experience up on the top. RTK pushes out the bottom. They know the fight's going to come to mid, and again, they'll just have to have like better positioning, better control if they're going to survive this. And Freeze just needs a little bit more money. Puppey's able to find him once again. With both Yules as well as the Shuriken toss, it's so easy for him to interrupt Freeze doing what he's doing. And in fact, now he's going to go on RTK. Quick Yules up, then Repel, TP out. RTK will have the life to survive this. No more stuns to hurt him and relocate down.
Still a nice attempt by them. Still no way, and I don't think they're ever really going to have a way to stop.
Is this Freeze with the confidence?
He's making plays at creating space, but still his upside for his team fight is quite limited. They see mid one, but
yeah, they're going to try and kill him off. Aggressive, able to get the initial stun, but they just don't know.
Bro, he has Aegis.
Yeah. The committal for
That's
that
one of those
you're
like,
good.
we can't do this, guy.
And now MP actually wants to go on Freeze. Perfect sleight of fist here in chain, so he'll get away.
I still like their plan of let's see SF run away.
It is the cheapest guard for RTK. He just completes it now.
Yeah, that's really nice in combination with Repel. Maybe he can run in, but I think it will limit a lot of the damage from the CK. Maybe not as much from the Shadow Fiend because he has a lot more attack speed at this point.
Oh, Freeze, be careful. He's going into the middle of 4 heroes from Team Secret. Linken's will trigger. Yule's Scepter up into the air, a quick sleight of fist, and then Spirit back to his tier 3 tower. But reveals the position of Team Secret as the small advantage.
Mid one looks like he wants to push high ground, but his team is not really that close. Creep wave is coming in. Just a few more seconds that he needs to wait. I think they have everything that they need. They have Aegis primarily, and the Solar Crest, and Vlad's, and a really, really fat Shadow Fiend.
But getting all the way in is so difficult, especially when Aggressive can be babysitted by RTK. Mops up the wave pretty quickly. Ember Spirit's still not involved in this. He's pushing in the top lane. He's trying to finally finish off that tier 1 tower.
He doesn't have enough. He doesn't have any wave clear. Like his Sleight of Fist doesn't do any damage because he doesn't have Maelstrom. So he doesn't actually need to be here for the wave defense. I guess he can stall with Slight and Chains, but it doesn't really work versus that Abba. And mid one's gonna have to deal with this like Repel and
here we go again.
Spam.
MP jumping in, looking for that initiation. 3-second stun. Vengeful Spirit has to swap RTK back out. He will survive. They don't have a shrine to help him out, but the tier 3 tower falls. Freeze now here in the fight. Another quick jump, but the sleight of fist, searing chains. MP just cannot get his combination off on the Ember Spirit, but what they can do is leave the Immortal one. Mid one with the Aegis, beating into the range ranks. They get the fortification out as well. Another quick victory here for Team Secret.
they're actually limited by Kezu's mana pool. They probably just tether them up if they want to. But with the T3 down, easy shrines, I think they have enough time with the Aegis to even venture further into the dire base.
That's enough for KZ to actually buy up the full Ags now too.
Is under attack.
Is this now Vici J? They've moved out just down to their southern shrine.
Radiant's bottom tower.
They're not really going to find anyone to kill off. It's just, again, more pressure, push out, control as much as you can and get as much resources in before Team Secret try and siege you once more. Get aggressive, closer towards that butterfly.
I don't think it's going to happen in time.
Butterfly before they push again?
Yep.
I don't disagree.
ROTK is playing like an ABBA. Once I think about it, he's playing, he's like, I wanted ABBA, but I'm just going to have to suffice for Omni Knight. He likes being up there. The typical Omni Knight playstyle is like getting Aether Lens and sitting way in the back and buffing at one of your other cores.
Aggressive, don't show yourself. If you want to survive through this FY, SF's going to raise down the wave.
At least he has BKB TP. They don't have any instant disable, so he is very, very safe. But only like a minute and a half left on this Aegis. Actually, it's less than a minute.
In towards the mid. Fenrir, more trouble for him. Poppy sets up. Pilot Eye and MP just wander in, and now there's no Crystal Maiden. And mid one's making his way towards the mid. But the bigger support I'm watching out for is FY. How many times does he have to defensively swap as opposed to aggressively swap? Blink Dagger is now
pretty much
up
every
for the
time.
Ember too. It's just a sad thing, right? Because like the only way they really top Team Secret is by getting a kill on either the SF or the Chaos Knight, and the only way to do that is by dragging him out of range of the Abaddon.
Yeah, but SF has BKB, so you can't really go on them. And Chaos Knight also has
Hager's
BKB.
just timed out. The jump forward, aggressive, able to get that BKB off with the 2-second stun onto RTK. There's that swap again from FY, pulling back the Omni Knight. They have to trigger up the Shrine, but the Force is in there from Team Secret, looking to push into the melee racks. RTK just goes in. 3-second stun on him. Aggressive. The damage output is not too bad, but then again, it's just not enough. Team Secret is so far ahead in this game. They just don't have the power. A quick push in. It's actually mid one going for it with his Hurricane Pike, trying to kill off FY. One more attack will do the job. More bounty rolling his way, and with the relocate out, they don't even get the kill on that front. It's RTK stunned up, an ultra kill for mid one. He just reset, repushed, and rampaging through everything Vici J offers. Will it be a double? No, it won't. MP will take it on a B-stick of life, and they're going for the GG push, and rightly so. Vici J have nothing left in the tank to defend that.
MMR wins games. Mid one. Jeez. Got first blood and just came right back and killed him after second kill. But I mean, he didn't have an easy time. He didn't have a West babysitting him. He didn't have that many stacks for himself. But look at him. Oh yeah, I destroyed that game.
Just another day at the office, you know. Like, but at the same time, you got to say, like, Vici J, they did show a couple of problems. Like the Ember Spirit hanging around, it was very greedy to go for the farm. Then the top lane as well. You look for that Syrian Chain's timing to cancel the Requiem. It didn't end up happening.
They just didn't group up until too late. Like they could have, I think they could have taken down way more towers. I think when they smoked bottom, that was a really good move. But after that, they kind of seemed lost as to what to do. And I also don't think they really addressed Kezu that well. He was forced to lane swap, so he should have been way further behind than he actually was. But they didn't really go for too many kill attempts. They did get a little bit unlucky with that Eclipse, but ROTK probably trying to figure out what he could have done better that game. Was it a draft issue? Was it a play issue? Was it a we didn't do anything in the mid-game issue? I definitely do not think they should have given away Roshan, especially before like any big items came out. I think they had like one BKB on that point at that point, but
as you said, man, they were fearful to fight.
Why? You just have to go for it, man, or else you just get crushed. They just sat inside their base and fed track kills to relocate.
Yeah,
that's not a good option. It's not a good option, Toby.
Yeah, but it wasn't the dream for him. So Vici J, troubling game
0 for 3 on the panel.
Is yes, well done,
no
panel,
faith
well
in
done.
Secret,
So
man.
let's throw it back to everyone that was wrong.